Banner details came out today for both Alhaitham and Xiao, and the biggest question on every Genshin Impact person's mind, or player, however you want to say it, the biggest question is, should you summon? What is going on, my dudes? Tasha here, back again with another Genshin Impact video, and today we are going to be answering that specific question. We are going to be talking about if you should summon on this banner with Alhaitham, Xiao, and the 4-star that's new to the game, YaoYao. But before we get into that, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to be notified of when the next Genshin Impact video comes out. Now, obviously, we want to answer this question, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. Now, as you can see here, we do have the banner details pulled up for both Alhaitham and Xiao here. And yes, this is pulled directly on Twitter. Please support Genshin Impact Twitter. But let's go ahead and dive into the units first. First of all, we have Xinyan, the Pyro Claymore user that came out in the first year of Genshin Impact. And honestly, she's broken, but not in the good way. That's right, guys. Her kit doesn't work exactly as it basically says in her abilities, but at the same time, I can tell you from experience, she's definitely not that bad. Yes, she's bad, but not that bad. Let me explain. When I was playing as her, yes, it wasn't working as intended, but she still was a decent character to use, especially because I was kind of using her as a physical DPS, and it worked out okay for the most part. Definitely wouldn't suggest her as a top of the line DPS, obviously, but she's not as bad as people make her out to be. Now, again, would I rather choose her or Aloy? I'd rather choose her, obviously, but that's a very small list of characters that I would rather not use, and Xinyan is one of them. Although she is very, very adorable, and if you played storylines with her, you do kind of see a little bit of a cute side with her, and I honestly loved seeing her with her hair down. What's really funny is that she reminds me of a young Dehya almost, and if she is kind of like that little version of Dehya, then honestly it's almost like Xinyan to Dehya, Xingqiu to Yelan, and Chongyun to Shenhua. It's pretty funny to kind of see it in that way, so definitely would say that Xinyan is one of the characters that you should avoid on this banner. Now, of course, let's go ahead and talk about the other character that I feel is highly underrated, Yunjin. Yunjin is fantastic to me because I liked using her when she first came out. Now, granted, she came out with the Geo meta that was including Ito, Goro, and all those guys in the Beidou rerun, so it made sense for her to kind of come out because she was a Geo polearm user. She does bump up physical damage depending on what constellation you have her at, and she is really, really good to use in general. I love using Yunjin, especially with her counter. She does really, really well, and honestly, she fits in a lot of team comps. To put it in perspective, I guess, in this sense, because of the punishment streams, just like when I, had to use Xinyan for a month, I C6'd my Bennett. Yeah, it was pretty sad. But at the same time, the wheel lands on what the wheel lands on, and I gotta do it. But because I couldn't use Eula with my Bennett, I had to find an alternative, and I did choose Yunjin. And Yunjin helped my Eula get some decent damage in, so I'm very happy with how Yunjin is as a character, and one of the characters that I really, really like in general when it comes to her overall. So I would definitely say Yunjin is on the up and up. So let's go ahead and talk about YaoYao. Now, YaoYao is a Dendro polearm user, and she is a healer as well, which is really cool. She's one of the characters that is very affiliated, I guess, in a way, with Shenhua and Ganyu, as she knows both Cloud Retainer and Mountain Shaper, and is very, very close to them. And I think it's really cool to have a character like this in general. I think she's awesome, she's adorable, and the healing aspect I'm kind of nervous to see, but also really excited at the same time, because it works as attacking just like how Dori kind of works. But I want to see how good her healing is comparatively to characters like Dori, like Kuki Shinobu, like Kokomi. And I don't think she's going to top any of the 5-star healers, but I am going to say that I would love to see her kind of be in that contention, because again, she looks really, really fun. I did point this out that a lot of the lolly characters are healers. Like, you think about it, you have YaoYao, we had Sayu, we had Dori, we had Chi-Chi, Diona. I think really the only two characters that are technically like small children lolly people that aren't healers are Klee and Nahida. And I might be wrong on that, but I can't remember any other lolly that just isn't a healer. So it's really kind of funny to me that most of these characters have been healers. But I am very excited for her. She's been around Genshin Impact for a very, very long time. So it's kind of nice to see her kind of come out of the art and actually be a part of the game as a playable character. So I am excited for her. I can't wait to try her out. So for me, she's going to be a summon because, you know, I have to have these characters. Now, before we get into Alhaitham, let's talk about Xiao. Now, Xiao is a very interesting case. Xiao, I think, is the best story-built character in the game. His backstory is insane, and the fact that all of his stories in general that we've come across or he's been a part of, he's just gotten better story-wise. Like, he has transcended the whole Sasuke look-alike emo boy character. I'm going to say it like that because in all honesty, a lot of people just associate him with being the emo guy. Now, granted, as a DPS, he's kind of fallen a little bit on the hay side. Now, granted, I wouldn't put him above Scaramouche because I think that he outdamages Scaramouche by far. But Xiao, as a DPS in general, has kind of fallen off. And there's so many Animo DPSs, well, 3, like right out the get-go that I could think of, Xiao, Heizo, and Scaramouche. But I think overall he's kind of fallen behind in the DPSs. He's still a fun DPS in general. I've used him a lot, and yeah, I have fun with him, and his way of traveling is a little weird. Obviously, you're kind of going up with his, you know, spear thing, but I digress. He's still a fun character, and I think that honestly he doesn't get enough respect. So to all you Xiao mains out there, I do respect you. It is tough to be a Xiao main right now, but if you don't have Xiao yet, I highly recommend that you pick him up because 1, his story's really good, and 2, his kit's actually not too bad. Now, granted, he's not as good as he was when he was beta, but you know, every character's like that. So Xiao is definitely one of those ones I would suggest picking up. Now, Alhaitham. 2 words. Dendro Kaching. Okay? Now, we all know that Electro got a big buff with Dendro. We already know that, and that's never going to change with that. The fact that now we have a Dendro Kaching, and I mean this with the most respect that I possibly can, because his kit is reflective to Kaching's. You can't tell me otherwise. Like, he literally has the same type of E and the same type of burst. Is that bad? Absolutely not. Because now you could run him alongside characters like Fischl, and you could run him alongside other characters like Dory, and you're going to have the same type of effects as you would with Kaching to Nahida. And I think that's wonderful because, again, you could alternate your playstyle to kind of work with Alhaitham being the Dendro DPS, but you're not really alternating it too much because, again, if you're a Kaching main, Alhaitham is basically the Dendro version of that, and it works out for you. Not a bad idea. Now, I'm excited for Alhaitham because he is jacked AF. And a lot of people think he's absolutely hot, which is, I'm comfortable with my sexuality. He's a very, very hot character. But it's the fact that he's played such an integral role into Sumeru, and I love the story of Sumeru so far, that it really makes me like happy to finally be able to play as him. So he's a must summon for me, at like every new character is a must summon for me. So now let's go ahead and start off with the Xiao banner. It sucks to say this, but you should not summon on Xiao. And the reason why I say that is because, 1, if you're gonna go for a DPS, there are plenty of other DPSs that outpace Xiao. Now, I'm going to be a little biased with my DPSs. Ganyu, Hu Tao, Ito, I think outpaces him as well now. You know, there's plenty of others as well, and I'm pretty sure at this point Alhaitham might be able to out DPS him. Heck, I think that Nahida can outpace him when it comes to aggravate teams, and she's not even the DPS for that team, but in general she just offers so much. And with Xiao, I think that Animo's kind of gotten a little bit tossed to the side, and it's not to say that Xiao's a bad DPS. Like I said, he's really, really good. He's just not as good as current meta characters, and I feel bad for saying it, but if you are summoning for Xiao purely on story, I absolutely understand because he's fantastic. If you are summoning him because you think he's the best DPS, I have to disagree with you. I'm sorry, but he's still a good DPS. He still is. If you really want Xiao, I don't blame you for summoning, but honestly, if you're wanting to skip Xiao, absolutely, I 100% support you on that one because he is a skip in general. Especially with the 4 stars, you got to think of it this way. You're getting a possibility of Xinyan, and she's not worth it. Yunjin is a fantastic character, and we still don't know technically if YaoYao is going to live up to all the hype that she's had with Genshin Impact in general. It's too much of an unknown, in my personal opinion, and for that reason, I say save your primos. Alhaitham's banner. Now, again, it boils down to the whole DPS thing. Alhaitham is a DPS. I don't know his numbers. I have not tried him, obviously, because I'm not in the betas. I can't try him out. I think that he's going to be a fun DPS, but again, it's going to boil down to the fact that he is just Dendro Kaching to me. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing bad with that. Kaching's kit is fun, in my opinion. It's just that it's the same thing. It's the same thing between him and Kaching, and I'm not going to be able to like separate the two. So unless you really want Alhaitham, this is a skip. And now you got to think of it this way, guys. Take YaoYao out of the picture, right? Matter of fact, you could possibly take any of these characters out because we're going to be getting a free leeway 4-star in the event. So if you are only summoning because, oh wow, there's Alhaitham and YaoYao, you're going to be able to get a YaoYao for free. So there's no point in you summoning on this banner unless you truly want the 5 stars, which again, we have Dehya coming out in next update in 3.5, which I'm super excited about. And honestly, if I wasn't a Genshin Impact content creator, I would skip both of these banners and be going for Dehya. It's just how it is. So honestly, I can tell you right now, these banners are a skip. Sorry to, disappoint y'all, but that's just how it is. Now, before we go, I just want to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to entertain you. Obviously, I am so blessed to have such wonderful people watching my videos. You guys are all awesome. Sorry for the little skip right there. I misclicked on my, OBS, so my apologies. I'm still not perfect. And this is obviously in one take, so bear in mind, I do my best. But anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below, and let me know, are you going to be summoning for Alhaitham and Xiao, or are you going to skip for 3.5? Are you excited for Mika and Dehya coming out in 3.5? Definitely would love to hear your comments down below. As always, guys, again, I love you all to death, and make sure to stay safe out there.